Ever seen a company crumble because they underestimated the IT guy? Buckle up. Have you ever had a boss so vindictive they'd risk tanking an entire company just to get rid of you? Buckle up, because that's exactly what happened to me. And let me tell you, karma came back with a vengeance. I was working as the IT manager for a small medical supply company in Oakville. Things were tough after the 2008 financial crisis, and our IT department had been downsized to just me. That's when they brought in a new CFO, Veronica, who I had to report to directly. Veronica was a piece of work. She knew nothing about IT, but acted like she was an expert. Her motto, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Which might sound sensible until you realize she applied it to things like software licenses and security updates. The owners of the company, a married couple named the Johnsons, weren't much better. They'd lie to our faces about job security one day, then lay people off the next morning. Mr. Johnson even had the audacity to show up in a brand new luxury SUV right after a round of layoffs. Veronica started cleaning house as soon as she arrived. One by one, she fired everyone who had worked for the old CFO and replaced them with her friends and family. 3 of her bridesmaids from her wedding got cushy jobs. I knew I was living on borrowed time. Sure enough, after about 9 months, Veronica called me into HR. She blindsided me with some trumped-up charge, claiming I'd done something wrong the day before. I knew it was a lie because I'd been working with the VP of sales all day. When I asked to bring him in as a witness, HR shut me down. That's when I realized they'd already decided to get rid of me. The next day, Veronica introduced me to an IT expert, her 21-year-old nephew, Tim. I was told he'd be shadowing me to streamline processes. In reality, they wanted me to train my replacement. It quickly became clear that Tim knew nothing about IT. He couldn't even join a PC to a domain. I knew I had to act fast. Our entire inventory, billing, and shipping systems were run by scripts I'd created on the server, all using the domain admin account. I made a big show of protesting about giving Tim the admin password, but Veronica overruled me. So I complied, but I also repeatedly showed Tim how to change passwords on the domain. I stressed how important it was to change the admin password as soon as he was done consulting. The next day, I was let go. Veronica claimed Tim had found my skills lacking. I went home, thinking it was over. But the very next morning, I got a frantic call from Veronica and the owners. Apparently, Tim wasn't quite up to speed, and they wanted me to come back as a consultant. I quoted them my new rate, $200 per hour, with a 250-hour minimum. Veronica lost it. She threatened to call the police if I didn't come in and fix everything. I called her bluff, and she hung up on me in a rage. Here's the kicker. Tim had actually learned something from me. He changed the admin password after I left, the same password that ran all the critical scripts for the company's operations. From what I heard later, the entire business ground to a halt for days until they could get a real consultant to sort things out. The aftermath? Tim was fired immediately, and Veronica was gone within a month. As for me, I found a new job with a company that actually values its employees. The lesson? Don't mess with the IT guy, especially if you don't know the difference between a mouse and a motherboard.